Hey everyone, this is Scott Volker again, and I've got another little clip from one of our podcasts that I think you're going to get a lot out of. This one here is really, really important, and a lot of people are not utilizing what we're going to talk about, which is basically upsells. Basically, taking what you've already shot, what you've already created as an image, and then using that image as a tool to basically upsell more things. And having these things in place can really, really affect your bottom line, meaning the amount of money that you make over the course of a year. All right, so I really want you to pay attention to this. I want you to really write down some ideas from it that you can implement right now and get out there and start using these, because I know once you do, you're going to be surprised that people will buy more. All right, so enjoy the podcast, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, Joe, so let's get started. Let's dive right in here. The first thing that I wanted to discuss came in from, I forget who it was from, but it came in about upsells. And Joe, you and I both know how important the upsells are.
Exactly. I think that was by Larry, by the way. So
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is, we need to talk about, how do we, number one, think about it like this, though, for a second. You take yourself, right? You do all this work to get your client. You do all the work to do the session, get all the shots. Wouldn't it be nice to just have other things available to say to the lab, hey, you know what? On image number 110, could you print me this, and this? And oh, while you're at it, can you print me this? And all you're going to be doing now is just telling them what to print, but yet you're going to be offering their services to your clients. Right, Joe?
okay, it's sort of like the motion picture and TV actors. They get residuals on their shows 5 years later. I mean, they've done the work and it's nice. Now they're selling and getting some money for something they've previously done. I like to go and say, go to Bay Labs, H&H, and some of these other labs that you may be using, and check and see what kind of items they offer. A lot of them will do charms. They'll do tin cans that you put your proofs in, and they'll put a picture engraved over the tin can cover. All these little things that you can upsell. That's what, we're also wanting you to sell upsized pictures to 16 by 20s and all. But there's all these other things that if you show the client, giving them a CD allows them to go to Sam's Club or whatever, or Walgreens, and get a print in a 4x6, and they're done and they throw it in a drawer. But we have all these other things that the labs offer. Just go through their catalogs, go through their online, and you can have them done. And like Scott just said, say why you printed this 16 by 20 of number 5127. Also give me one of the charms or one of the little booklets that they have. They have spiral notebooks for 4x6. You don't have to give a proof picture that gets loose and drops to the floor. Now they can all have these little plastic spiral, like a book on the back, and all those 4x6s can hold together in one little handy little dandy package.
Yeah, and if we, obviously, like we said, we're talking about not even doing any extra work. That's the beauty. Yes, you can upsell collages, custom collages that you create, but again, that's taking more of your time. And we're not saying, to not do that. But what we're saying is, show them what other items that you can offer them that you don't necessarily have to do any more work other than, submit an order for it to your lab and then they do the work. All right. So we're leveraging your lab's, expertise and what they're offering. Like Joe just said, a lot of them have these new picture books. You can offer these picture books. People will pay it. Don't think, again, because you can't afford it doesn't mean that they won't be able to afford it. And I want you to be able to mark these up enough to where you're going to make good money on these. All right.
One of the other things that I talk about is canvas prints and canvas wraps. Now, yes, if you gave your CD or sold your CDs, whatever, if the client ends up with a CD, they're going to get just prints. They don't know all these things that labs have. They're going to not go to a pro lab. They're just going to their down the corner market. We can sell a 20 by 40, 20 by 30, whatever the size we want, canvas wrap. If we have that for them to see they're going to say, oh, I guess I got to order that from you. They don't know how to go about doing the measuring, where to go to send it, and how to do a little extra proportion so that the picture wraps around the sides. I mean, that's an upsell because they don't know where to get it. That makes us a little better until they catch on. Then we're going to have to think of something else down the road.
Yeah. What I wanted to do here, though, is I wanted to read something that Larry D had said. He basically came back and he had a great thread, and I'll probably leave a link below this podcast to this thread so you can go back to it. So, obviously we're highlighting it and we want you to go back and go through it if you need to. But really valuable here, and I think Larry, I couldn't have said it better myself. Basically, he said, first, only show the appropriate size, which is large prints. If your goal is to primarily sell 20 by 24 prints, show them a couple sizes larger. You are educating the client to the appropriate size and at the same time making the 20 by 24 look small. Only show your best work mounted and framed the best you can afford. All right. And for large upsells, remove all small images from the viewing area. Again, what he's saying is you don't want to show people, the small one and then show them the big one. You want to do it the opposite, because then you're not going to want the smaller one. It's almost in pricing. You want to almost show people the more expensive price up front, and then your medium price doesn't seem so bad. If what you really want to get out of, one of your sessions is $300, well, you better have a package in there that's $500 to $700, because then that $300 doesn't seem as bad. Okay, and that's a marketing, that's a kind of like a ladder effect. All right, but let me just continue what he says. So we're educating the client to the appropriate size. 3 or 4 appropriate size prints over couches. Sorry, misread that. We don't want to put them over coaches, do we, Joe?
Unless it's a big football.
A football coach. It says coaches. Sorry, Larry. It's supposed to be couches. Love seats, etc. Starts educating the client to the appropriate size for their home. It's much more effective than having lots of smaller prints. And I couldn't agree more with Larry on that. It's so true. You don't want to have smaller sizes out where the clients can see them. You're educating and getting them used to seeing the appropriate size print that you want to sell. This is a big one.
I would go so far as to say nothing small on your wall. The minute they walk in the door, they should see a 40 by 60. And I'm telling you, your digital camera will do it. If you have a good file and you haven't cropped into it too much, your regular cameras, digitals, will give you that print like that. I went to a museum last week and I saw a 60 by 70. It was grainy, but that's because I was looking at it 2 feet away. When I backed off down the hall and looked, this covered the wall. That's all the museum had on that wall, was that one print. Boy, was that was outstanding. That was a knockout. But big prints, don't worry about the texture and the grain or whatever. We're not looking at it that close that you would hold an 8 by 10, 6 inches from your eye. So think of that. And just have these people seeing nothing but big size soon as they walk into your studio. Hide all your little ones. I think Larry even said that. Don't have a small one and a big one on the same wall. Make them get into the rooms of all your, and then they can start seeing, put your big 8 by 10s on a desk. Let them see that stuff so they can see how big a 20 by 24 is and say, wow, that 8 by 10 I thought was big really is little, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, I know I can hear people right now too, Joe, saying, but I can't afford all of them to put on my wall right now. Well, you know what? Do one at a time. Do what you can afford right now, all right? And, get those larger sizes. That's what I would be investing in. Whether you travel and you take these prints with you to show people your samples, or if you have these mounted in your studio. You want to show people, number one, what you offer, but you also want to educate them to what they need, to have. All right, and that's part of marketing again. All right, we want to show them that the right way to hang a portrait is to have it dry mounted, not behind glass. That whole thing. That you want it to look like that museum style print. Okay, because that's what's going to give you that perceived value that it's that much more expensive, and it's worth the money that you're going to be charging for these.
Scott, the other day I told some lady, I guess I was talking to her on Skype, I said, if you make a big one for your studio, maybe find one that it was your own relative or kid or something. Then when you make that 30 by 40, you don't feel so bad. If you should get out of business in 2 years, or 2 to 5, I think is the average life of a business, they really start going down after that. If you make the first 5, you're in. But I said, then you have a big picture of a relative or somebody that you like. It doesn't have to be of some client that you'll say, now I'm stuck with this big picture, years later. But that's a goal. I mean, just pick some family member that you've had and something you would be pleased to have a big picture of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And the other thing that I wanted to say here, and I want to finish it because Larry had said this too, which I think is very important. He said, concentrate on selling the appropriate size, show enthusiasm, all right? Act as if everyone invests in the appropriate side and expect them to make an investment in the appropriate size. What are we talking about here with investment, Joe?
Well, it's the price and the pride that you're showing in this thing. If you show them that, and just roll it off your tongue, just say, and that's $600. How many would you like? You know, you don't have to say, well, would you pay me 125 for one that size? Please, you got to learn how to sell. I mean, if you've ever gone to Olin Mills or Kmart's or something and been in there after you went for your free 5x7 and then listen to how they sold you up to $300. You know, we got to kind of be like that, or have somebody work for you that does sell. If that's not what you're good at, get somebody who could sell for you in the sales room.
Yeah, and remember, I mean, you know, you're offering a service that's going to capture a memory for someone that's going to last a lifetime. This is an heirloom. This is something that they can have forever, all right? And even though we know that the cost of it is just the paper and the printing, it's not that again, okay? We're selling the actual,
an image.
yes.
We're selling an image, not a piece of paper, not a size paper or how many papers they get. We're selling that image that was going to make the mother come to tears. We're going to make them it's an heirloom, exactly.
Right. And, you know, so basically that's going to wrap up this. But, I mean, upsell people on your larger prints. Like I said, for you to take that same file, okay, that you're going to have them print your basic package, which is going to be a couple of 8x10s, a couple of 5x7s, whatever, to have them print that 20x24, 20x30, whatever, isn't going to cost you anything else because the customer's going to pay for it, but it's not going to take you any more time either because all you're doing is just telling them what to print.
Let me add something here. I've also said to somebody, go ahead, and if you like your shoot that you just did of this client and you need some samples on your wall, make a big one. Don't pick pick a good shot that you like, because if they don't buy it, you'll have it for your wall. But when you show it and they come in and they see it on the wall and they go, you like that enough to make a big one for my, yes, I put it on my wall. Can I buy one? And you say, well, you know what? I'll make you a special. I'll take this right off the wall and you can have it at such and such a price. Boy, if you don't think that won't impress the client, but that he came in and you already had it up on the wall. Oh yeah, I wanted it as a big sample. That was a terrific photo. Show that excitement and just take the time to make something big. And when the client comes back to order their prints, they may go home with that one because it's ready-made. They don't have to wait for it.
No, it's perfect. Perfect. I think we could go on for an hour or two talking about this because it's very, very important. I think people just need to get out there and think about how they can do this. And again, just start with one right now. And like Joe was saying, I mean, to wrap this up, I think another thing that you could do is, pick one of, your best pictures you had or, your sessions that you had last week and blow one up that you think is going to be beautiful and that you can use as a sample. And then you know what? Maybe if those people don't even buy it now, maybe when you're going to be, renovating your wall with new new images or whatever, you could call those people up a year or two later and say, hey, I've got this sample that I printed up. I know I normally sell these for $350, but if you'd like it, I'll sell it to you for $125. Again, it's up. It's a sample, and if they buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. But again, you can maybe recoup some of that money that you invested in that. So, okay, the next one. Okay, so that's it. That's going to wrap up this podcast. I hope you can see that thing was packed with information, and I really think that you should go back and listen to it again if you haven't taken some good notes, because there's a lot of things in there that you need to start thinking about adding to your business. And I just wanted to say one thing that I'm not sure I was clear on in there. We always go out and try to look for new clients, and we should, but we also need to concentrate on the clients that we already have. We need to utilize them, okay, number one, for spreading the word, but also for increasing the size of their order. We already know that they like our stuff, so why not get them to buy more stuff? All right, so just add more value to your clients and the size of the orders will increase. Now, not everybody's going to purchase more, but if you have it available, they can buy more. All right. So I just wanted to say that. Now, the other thing I did want to say is these are the types of things that we're discussing all the time over at New Portrait Biz Pro, the Inner Circle. And I'd really love it if you just head over there and check it out if you haven't done so already. Maybe you're listening to this and you're already a member and you've had the full podcast, and that's great. Okay. And we'll see you on the inside. But if you aren't already a member, just click the button below this video and go over and check it out. Okay. And you can see a video that explains everything that is included, and we're constantly adding new content, new lessons, discussions, mastermind calls, a whole bunch of stuff to help you take your business to the next level. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. I look forward to working with you and your business in the future. Take care.